The 1917 Major League Baseball season. It was a good season for somebody in Chicago. Anyways, some news during the season. May 2nd, Cincinnati's Fred Tony pitches a 10-inning no-hitter. Cincinnati won 1-0 over Chicago. His opponent was Hippo Evadin, and he never gave up a hit until the one-out single in the 10th. June 27th, Babe Ruth gives up a walk to start the game. Then he gets into a heated argument with home plate umpire Brick Owens, who then throws him out of the game. Ernie Shore comes in to replace him. Ray Morgan gets caught stealing, and then Ernie Shore gets the last 26 batters out. Initially, he was credited with a perfect game, which since then was taken away. So Shore and Ruth get a combined no-hitter. Okay. Hank Gowdy of the Boston Braves reports for duty with the Ohio National Guard, becoming the first major leaguer to enlist for World War I. Wow, huh? Now we get to the season standings, and they are as goes. Chicago White Sox, top of the American League with 100 wins and 54 losses. Boston is next at 90 and 62, 9 back. Then it's Cleveland at 88 and 66, 12 back. Then it's Detroit at 78 and 75, 21 and a half games back. Then Washington at 74 and 79, 25 and a half back. Then the Yankees at 71 and 82, 28 and a half back. Then St. Louis at 57 and 97, 43 back. And the Philadelphia Athletics at 55 and 98. National League. New York Giants, 98 wins, 56 losses. Philadelphia finishes second at 87 and 65, 10 back. Then St. Louis at 82 and 70, 15 back. Then Cincinnati at 78 and 76, 20 back. Then Chicago, the Cubs, at 74 and 80, 24 back. Then the Boston Braves, 72 and 81, 25 and a half back. Then Brooklyn at 70 and 81 at 26 and a half back. Then Pittsburgh at 51 wins, 103 losses at 47 games back. Season stats. Batting, American League. Ty Cobb led the majors and the American League with a .383 batting average. Wally Pipp of the Yankees led the American League with 9 home runs. And Bobby Veach of Detroit finished the season with 103 RBIs. Pitching. Eddie Cicotti of Chicago, 28-game winner. Led the major. No, did not. Eddie Cicotti also had a 1.53 ERA. And Walter Johnson of Washington had 188 strikeouts. Led the majors. No, he did not lead the majors. Sorry, he did not meet. Anyways, National League. Ed Rausch of Cincinnati, a .341 average. And there's a tie for the Major League lead with home runs. And Gavi Kravitz and of the Philadelphia and Dave Robertson of the Giants each had 12 home runs. And Heine Zimmerman had 102 RBIs. Go over to Cleveland Alexander, now in the pitching, of Philadelphia, had 30 wins. He also led the majors with 200 strikeouts. And Fred Anderson of the Giants had a 1.44 ERA. Okay, World Series time. Chicago home in Chicago and the White Sox and the New York Giants. The White Sox home games were at Comiskey Park, and the Giants home games were still at Brush Stadium. First name of the new Polo Grounds. Game 1 on October 6th in Chicago, and the Chicago won 2-1. Game 2 October 7th, also in Chicago. Chicago 7, Giants 2. Game 3 in New York on October 10th. Giants beat Chicago 2-0 to make it a 2-1 series lead for Chicago. Then the Giants even the series with a 5-0 win in Game 4 on October 11th. Also in New York. Game 5 on October 13th in Chicago. Chicago wins 8-5, go up 3-2. And on October 15th, Game 6 in New York, Chicago wins 4-2 to win the World Series, 4-2. And I think in 2 years from now, this very much most of the Chicago players were part of the Black Sox scandal of the 1919 World Series. 8 of those players deliberately lost the World Series, and they got suspended. Anyways, we'll get to that in a couple days. So as I said, some of the players on the Chicago team in 1917 won the bit of the scandal in 1919. And until we get to that, stay tuned.